Welcome to Marsha's Plate, a Black trans-inclusive feminist podcast. A place where we know that not everybody is invited to the cookout. And we also know that every single day is a brand new day, and we have the power to make a difference today. So let's do this. It's a new day, brand new day, make it better than yesterday. You can always find a way to turn it all around again. It's a new day, brand new day, make it better than yesterday. You can always find a way to start over again. Tuesday, when the sun rises, you can start over again. A new day, you can make it better than yesterday. It's a new day, it's a new day, new day. There's a way you can turn it around. Trust me, there's a way out. There's more time. Just don't give up. When the sun rises on a new day, you got another chance. Yeah, 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 yeah. A new day, you got another chance. If you want to join the conversation, you can hashtag Marsha's Plate. You can follow us on most social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all of that. Just search for Marsha's Plate, MARSHASPLATE. Y'all ready? Let's get started. Hey, what's up, y'all?
What's going on?
Peace.
Welcome back. I missed y'all.
Yes.
Same.
We've been on break for a month like we do every year because
Yeah.
bitch, we don't, honey, we need breaks too.
Okay, honey. Self-care is the best care, honey.
Yep.
And so we are back, and so much has went on. We got the voting this week. Well, by the time y'all hear this, voting should be done. I know
And y'all should have voted, honey.
early.
Yep. Hey, every time.
Early and on Tuesday. We are recording this on Monday. Speaking of politics, did y'all see y'all vice president
Child, did we,
and holy next wife?
honey?
Now,
Not Swiss cheese nut. Oh my Lord. Yeah, I seen that woman talk about JD Vance, reminds her of her husband, and she comes out and start rubbing up in the nape of his goddamn neck. As the woman online said, honey, she was all in his hairline sequence. Honey, it was looking a little too close for comfort for me. In her leather black pants, honey, it was giving dominatrix. It was giving me slut. Honey, if you read the room was in the red light district, bitch. Do you hear me? It's giving affair, honey. What do y'all think about it, honey? I think Usha better get her divorce ready, bitch.
She might come up missing accidentally.
Honey. With the black girl, remember the black girl that disappeared and went to Scotland and for the coat? You gonna look Usha gonna be the medicine woman in the motherfucking coat, bitch.
Ain't nothing like a white woman who looking for a new husband. She is on the prowl. And so I don't put nothing past them. She reminds me, if you remember Scandal, she reminds me of Melly.
Girl, you know I was glued to Scandal like everybody the fuck else when she was on, honey. Miss Olivia Pope was a nasty word. Yeah, girl, she's clearly setting up the shady the I can't even say it's shady, but the sad truth of it all is that I've seen some, Trumpers and Republicans and all that, honey, they low-key rooting for her and JD to get together. They want him to drop that Indian woman, honey. They say he's good enough to be president if he's with her.
I mean, we know racism is go racism.
I mean, yeah, that's a lot. I'm just seeing. I missed it because I've been in this transitional period right now, moving around. But I just, just saw a little bit just 2 seconds ago, and it's a lot happening. It's a lot happening. Well, they have a project 2025. They're trying to get what they got to get done so they can move Trump on the side and keep doing what they got to do, stick to the plan with the Heritage Foundation since that Civil Rights Act
And the
Long
third
term
term.
goals.
Honey,
Right, long term
And the
goals. There.
third
wasn't
term.
Yep.
wasn't JD involved in revising the Project 2025?
Shit,
Revising.
probably. I don't
Honey,
know.
while they was, because it was clear as day while they was trying to distract motherfuckers about Joe Biden being old, honey, that Trump's ass was just as senile at the same damn time. I thought it was obvious that they were setting up for JD Vance to run this country. I was just confused on how the hell this was going to work when he got a brown wife and half brown kids, honey. But now, honey, if Erica Kirk is gonna keep twerking her ass up on his pole, honey, in them leather pants, bitch, then the math, I could see them voting for him to be their next president, honey.
I think that listen, I feel like first of all, anybody who has been like a old people hospice care worker, you know that Trump look at his face and that leaning ass gangster leaning ass face, he done had a stroke. The swelling, all that kind of stuff. He about to be up out of here, and they go. But I still think if he's alive, they're gonna try to get him a third term. Well, Steve Bannon just said they're gonna try to figure that out. And so I think that's the goal. And if not, they would put that man up on. They would put him up as president too. I don't. I think that's. I actually think that's they have a better chance at that than him getting a third term. I feel like they have a better chance at. And I think that JD Vance is a better talker than Donald Trump. And so I think it's a better chance for them to prop him up as the next puppet.
JD Vance don't give y'all drag queen like she gives me rejected drag queen. JD Vance don't give y'all like punk in the face. You know how people just got, you know, how
A little
people got a
something.
queeny face. People just have a queer face. He don't. Y'all don't see that like them cheeks
I
ain't
see
real
it.
rosy.
I see it.
Yeah.
Dairy Queen.
Come on, Dairy Queen.
Out
Child,
on the farm and shit. You
it
know.
gives me paint queen. She give me like she one of them children that I want to bottom without dishing. Talk
well,
about she know her body, bitch. You don't even know your name.
Yeah,
well,
JD Vance
in
is, I don't know, whatever. I mean, because they've had different versions of themselves, right? Because weren't they like more liberal? Weren't they saying Trump is a step away from being, you know, he
Honey,
likes Hitler and shit?
Trump
Did he
is a
say that?
step
That's what
away.
JD Vance said.
Trump
Okay.
is a step
So,
away from being the Antichrist. I'm convinced that Trump is Rosemary's baby, bitch.
anyway, I don't want to talk about these people. Let's talk about because we've
yeah.
been gone for a while and we have not been able to talk about the passing of our community matriarch,
Yeah.
Miss Major Griffin Gracie.
Yeah.
And I went to her services in Little Rock and
Mm.
had an amazing time. It was beautiful. It was heartfelt and I just thought it was super super dope and it just was good to see the people in the room and to just everybody share all their little stories like they're everything how each one of us has a story about her touching our lives and so I thought it was a beautiful of meeting her and how she inspired us and even the ones who she called out and told them honey cut that bullshit out if they're doing some bullshit even that those type of moments and it just was a beautiful thing so I wanted to kind of spend this time to kind of talk hear y'all thoughts about Miss Major. And yeah, I want to know what y'all thought and, anything that you want to share about her passing and life and legacy.
Uh, um, for me, it's one of those things. It's like anytime you're blessed enough to have an elder in your life, I'm one of those people. I always fear losing them, and I
Mm.
fear the day coming, when I'm gonna have to be at their service, and I'm essentially gonna have to live without their inspiration, physically, without them being around physically. And Miss Major was one of those who, to be honest, I had a feeling I would outlive, and I'm sure she probably hoped that a lot of us would outlive her. Um, I mean, that's supposed to be the order of things, right? We're supposed to bury our elders. but it still didn't change the fact that it hurt. And I'll share my instance with all of y'all. It was when we visited her at the Oasis, and I sat. I don't remember what y'all were doing, but I was sitting watching a black and white movie with her. And we watched the whole movie. Y'all all know how I'm into movies. This was a horror mystery movie, so y'all know it was right up my alley. And of course, it was a black and white movie that I had never seen, but I recognized the actors. And so, she has seen the movie a million times, so she's giving me dialogue on the movie as I'm, half watching it and still paying attention. And she ended up breaking down to me. I can't remember the name of the movie at this moment, but it was a movie where this girl got killed, and the question was whether or not the guy who everybody assumed killed her. The question was whether or not the last person that saw her killed her. And she was talking about how it was such a big deal when this movie had came out because it was one of the first movies where they never tell us. They never told us, the audience, whether he killed her or not. You have to draw your own conclusion, and the movie goes through his trial and all of that. And just in that instance, her excitement, her connecting the history and being in that moment of that film dropping and all of that, it created an interest for me in classic movies and in black and white movies. Up until that moment, I honestly was one of those people that had no real interest in movies that were made before 1970. I just didn't. It had never jumped out to me. But since then, I've checked out a lot of classic horror movies, and it's given me an entire different perspective. And it's also helped to educate me as a content creator. When you pay attention to the classics, you learn the basics. So yeah, shout out to Miss Major. That is a moment I will forever cherish.
I think the first time I knew of Miss Major was maybe like 2010, 2011, something like that. But I didn't really know much. I just heard the name, you know. And then I was at a conference. I think I learned more about who she was, but then I was at a conference in like 2013 or 2014 in Milwaukee, and I had an opportunity to meet her and take a picture with her and like talk to her a little bit. Um, yeah. And then later, when I moved to Seattle, I was a part of this. I worked for this like anyway. I did this project. It was like a Black trans economic empowerment project, and I would facilitate a cohort. And so a part of that, we watched different films, had different conversations, and a lot of what we talked about was building power as Black trans people. So we did watch Major, you know what I'm saying, and for a lot of for all of us, we watched it together for the first time. It's probably like 4 people in the cohort, and later we all went to BTEC, um, and that was it's just interesting to go from that and then have the opportunity to sit with her and the opportunity at the Oasis, to kind of have like this is somebody of and you respect and revere. When I met her the first time, I was like, "Oh, you gonna let me take a picture?" You know what I'm saying? I was still very early in my transition. I think I told y'all even like, so and even though like whatever doing advocacy type shit or whatever before I transition is different after I transition. Shit, I'm trans, so like the shit, reality is different. You know what I'm saying? So it was just like a lot to learn about her work and just keeping it 100. I love that. Like I asked her about this shit in Seattle when we were out there, and she was like, "Yeah, no." And I said, oh, "Okay, I got to go." Miss Major said, "You got to go." Like real talk, no bullshit. I'm just grateful that for that experience to be able to like, we didn't talk much because I had a lot of stuff going on. I wish I was able to spend more time with her, but like, I'm just, it's just like what a life. You know what I'm saying? To do like of service. Do you get what I'm saying? Like from, you know what I'm saying? Like that, like this is some, like even that space is not something that, you know, I think most people would conceive of as that's the work in terms in that way. You know, not just a direct service. You're getting a thing, or we're gonna help you do this thing, but like rest. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah.
Because she's always been like innovative. So to be able to actually be on the receiving end of that is a blessing and powerful. Um, but someone that you know is so big, you know what I'm saying? Like you know what I'm saying? I don't know if that's making sense, but like it's just it's you know yeah yeah. Particularly seriously, just like by like 2013 or so, like I've been around this word for over 10 years. That's early in my transition. So like in these queer spaces, these conferences, blah 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 blah. But now it's different. I look different. This landscape change. Everything is different. Like everything is different. You know what I'm saying? And so to be able to just whatever, just learn from her and stuff over the years, it's been and just it's a different landscape. So I'm just grateful for the path that she's paved and and just being a demonstration of like not necessarily finding a balance, but keeping it 100. What's the saying? What am I fucking up the saying that's on the bench? I mean, in
Tell
the
it like it
yard.
is. Tell it
Tell it
like it
like
fucking. Tell it like it fucking is.
period, period. So you know, yeah, I try to do that in my own ways. So to see someone, it's affirming. It's like, yeah, you don't gotta. Now you gotta be strategic, but you don't have to. And if you're going to be strategic with it and you are going to tell it, if you're going to tell it like it is, that means you're going to also have to take L's. You're going to have to be creative. You're going to have to be innovative. You're going to have to do things a little differently because this shit is not set up for people to tell it like it is. So you go, like she talked about her kicking down doors and shit, like, like that's some real shit. So anyway, that's, yeah.
Right. I met Major years ago. Years ago when it was right before she was became the executive director of TGIJP in San Francisco. She became the executive director, I think, in '09. So this had to be like either early '09 or like '08, somewhere around there. I had been in Houston for probably like a year and a half, and I was still a prostitute, baby, hoeing, traveling the country. And so I had went up to San Francisco, posted an ad, and it was during fucking that fucking recession that was going on, so coins were not sickening, and West Coast is never sickening for me when it comes to money. So I was having a slow ass fucking night, and I had met Alexander Lee. And if you know the history of Trans Justice Project, he is actually like the early on the creator who set the foundation, not Major. He brought Major on. And so he was kind of like the director in his early stages. And so, but she was the first like executive director, like serious executive director. It was still kind of like a early. He was kind of like on in the advisory board, and so I ended up going somewhere, and she was there, and that's where I actually met her for the first time. But I actually didn't know any of her history, and because of the nature of the community kind of grouping, it wasn't on some social justice shit that we was meeting. It was like a kiki session. So she just was an old trans woman. So I was like, oh, old trans woman sickening. You get what I'm saying? It was very much a just meeting an old girl.
It wasn't meeting a legend. You get what I'm saying? Because I wasn't from San Francisco, so I didn't know any of that, or New York, any of that history about her. At that moment, I didn't know any of that. But she was cool. She was loud. She was, and this is before any of her medical decline. So she was still able to kind of talk her shit. She was loud. You know what I'm saying? She was kind of like that. So I was like, oh, I live for her. She, old lady, cool. She had her little gray bob on, disheveled gray bob. So it was just a kind of a kiki moment. But when I realized her legacy was when we brought her to BTAC 2, 3 years later in 2012, 12 or 13. I can't remember exactly when it was. A couple of years later, and I have a video that I posted on our feed that I recorded of her talking, and I was like, oh. And once I learned, then I saw her movie, and I was like, oh, she is like, I just learned so much, and it just became apparent that this is a juggernaut when it comes to this is somebody who needs to be talked about, like we talk about Sylvia, like we talk about Marsha, like we talk about you know what I'm saying, people who are old school because she come from that era. I didn't know that she had came from that era. I didn't know she was connected to New York in that way. Um, and also I'm a y'all know I'm a Southern Midwest girl, honey, a Southern Midwestern, and so my focus is kind of because people sleep on us. My focus was really learning about the South and elders in the South, and so that's why I have Cheryl Courtney Evans interviews, and these are elders that come from the Southern area. So I was like, so I didn't know necessarily West Coast people like that. So then in 2020, 2021, um, of course, we have met multiple times in between this era, but this is when the moment when she really just planted a seed in me. Major sent me $20,000 to a program to create a program of housing here in Texas. And it's not a lot of money, but it's enough for us to get started, and it was enough for us to house to get, because what we did, we created this program where, because in Houston, in Texas in general, we didn't have a lot of shelters for trans people. So we that was affirming. Now it was bad down here. It wasn't like other places. And so places specifically for trans people, we had one in Houston. We had one that was really Latina based. And so they, how them girls could kind of be when it comes to not fucking with Niggas. you know. So we've sent people there, but it didn't always work out because, say it again. Niggas. And so, not because they were niggas, but because, people don't cater to us like we cater to our own people sometimes. And so,
not because, but because.
right, exactly. So, I didn't like sending people there because I knew it wasn't going to work out. Of course, that's just what it was. So we had one here in Houston. We had a fresh new black founded one in Dallas, which was dope. And we had one in New Orleans that was, close enough for us to use as a resource. House of Tulip had just started by Mulan, Sherry, and Mariah Moore. So that was like a kind of like a three-pronged thing that we can do. But in Houston for black girls, it really wasn't a lot of places. And so what I started was, hey, if I can get some money to get people, if we find some homeless folks, if I can get them and be able to get them into the situation, like pay their first month rent, pay their application fees, and blah 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 blah. If I can just get you in there, are you working? If we can get you this leg up, can you be able to make it last? Is that what it is? And so that's what happened. She sent us $20,000 from House of Gigi, and we spent that $20,000 on nothing but
deposits and application fees to get people into a place that, and you had to be homeless, you had to be have nothing else, and so it just opened up the door for multiple people, where even people to this day are coming back to me saying, I am so glad that you helped me in this moment, because it just gave me a way to get up out of the fucking, I was fucking drowning, and it gave me a way to get out. And now I'm working here, I'm going to school, I'm da 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 da. It just was a leg up. And we were able to do that because of the $20,000 that Major gave to us from House of Gigi. And so, yeah, just her, and that's just one thing. She does that. She done sent people to school. Some people talked about her paying for their schooling to go to seminary. Some people getting paying for furniture, even taking furniture out of her own house and giving to her. Just all these kind of, there's everybody had a story where I'm not even asking questions about it. I'm just gonna help you. I'm just gonna do what needs to be done and take care of you, because that's what it's, and that's just what it is. And so she is going to be missed. She her you I remember Oprah and Dr. Maya Angelou were talking, and I think Oprah said that she was talking about, she just don't know what her legacy is going to be, and Dr. Maya Angelou said, "Hey, sweetie, you're never going to be able to know the scope of your a legacy, because your legacy is everybody that you touch. And there's no possible way that you're going to be able to even fathom that, because there's going to be some people that you don't know that you touched. And it's going to reverberate all across the land. You cannot fathom what your legacy is. And I think that Miss Major is a perfect example of that. And I think we all are that. I don't want to, you don't have to be some big old school legend to be impactful and have a legacy. But I think that is what that she's a perfect example of that, because there's so many people that has a story for her. And one last thing that I'm going to say is, while it is sad that we have lost our matriarch, the beauty of it is that she lived to be the age that she is, lived in her own truth, passed away in her own home, wrapped around love and people in there that love her, care for her. So to be a person that lived in your truth for this long, through all of these kind of decades, and to be in a place where you are just in your own shit, dying on your own terms with people around you that love you, that I want us all to have that. I want us all to have that kind of death. And while it is sad that she's gone, but she didn't die at the hand of some dusty ass nigga. She didn't die in poverty. She didn't, none of that. She died of natural causes with people around her, her family that loved her. That is a beautiful story to me. That is a beautiful ending to me. And so I want us all to have that. So yeah, that's just what I wanted to talk about when it comes to Miss Major. And yeah, let us know what y'all think about Miss Major, and what are your thoughts about, just her passing, and just legacy in general, and people who are in your area that are elders. Make sure you check on your elders, because some of them are living in isolation and you know them, but that don't mean that they don't want to be checked on. So make sure you check on them. And yeah, hashtag Marsha's Plate.
Hashtag MARSHASPLATE.
Period.
Oh my God, I want to thank all of our new patrons this week. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yay, 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 yay. So not only are you helping to sustain this particular podcast, I also donate to other podcasts. I donate to other organizations. I have my finger on the pulse of the community, and I know a lot of grassroots organizations that are doing great work out here. So you're not only helping to sustain us, you're helping to sustain other people in a community, because I put my money where my mouth is. That's just the kind of bitch I am. Community as fuck. So thank you. I really, really appreciate you. And if you have not become a patron,
Why have you not? You can donate as low as $1 a month. It doesn't matter. Anything helps. Please. Do I have to play Sarah McLachlan and show you puppies? Like, what do I have to do? Do I have to resort to what the white people do to get you to give them money?
Anyway, the link is in the bottom. Back to the show.
So, unfortunately, when Miss Major passed, I also had a family member pass like the same day. I had a couple family and like close church family pass. And so it's like back-to-back weeks of funeral, back-to-back deaths kind of thing. But my cousin that passed, one of her children is like my younger gay cousin kind of thing, like the other queer, the other transes, right? And so, we got a chance to reconnect in a way that we have, and I think I've talked about them a little bit on the show in the past because we reconnected a little bit before, but this was different. Their mom had passed. They have a new baby. They have a partner. They're just like, they're older now. We're probably about 8 to 10 years apart. So when I was an adult, they were still a kid, like pre-puberty, basically. When I left for college. But anyway, so we got to talking, and I've actually talked to them, and I talked to their sister, and both of them were like, we were so surprised that everybody was so chill when you came out. And I was like, what are you talking about? Y'all. So I have another queer cousin, and there's a little cluster of them. Okay. So there's another one that's queer. Let's put it like that. Okay. In this little cluster that's 8 to 10 years younger than me. And so apparently my aunties, and my mama was sitting them down talking about you know what it says in the Bible. We might have to pull this one out the school. We have to pull 2 of the kids out the art school because the art school made Jonathan gay. On that level, yo, I was like, what? And it was so wild because like I had never, like, my mom didn't browbeat me about the Bible and being gay. So I didn't really have that experience. I've talked to y'all about that. I've talked about it on the show. I didn't really have an experience when I initially came out of like, this ain't okay with the Bible. Jesus don't want you to be gay, blah, 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 blah. Like, I didn't really feel like I didn't really deal with any kind of religious hate or religious, you know what I'm saying? People trying to weaponize religion around my queerness. That just wasn't
Yeah, her
an
tea,
aspect of it.
the way you described it, her tea was just more
How
wanting
I was
to be more
looking.
girly and dress more
Yeah.
girly. Yeah.
Right. So it just was like, what is this? Because they didn't even do that with my mama. Didn't even do that with me. And then I said, well, okay, well, when did this? So when I came out to the family, though, I was with my partner for some time, a little bit. We were, if not domestic partners at the time. So I was like grown. And I had come out when I was in high school. So like this was the first time I came out to everybody else, / confirming what everybody else already knew. So it just kind of tripped me out. Also, she told me, or they told me rather, they were like, like they'd be like, Jonathan doesn't really have time to hang out with you. And I would get told, oh, I don't want you to be, too much around them because I don't want people thinking you making them gay. That's the kind of stuff my mom would say to me. So it was really interesting to kind of fill in some blanks for each other, right? Like I already knew this end, but I didn't know that, they were pulling them aside and talking about pulling people out of schools and, all this other stuff and them thinking like, I'm not, I used to spend more time with them. And so they intentionally separated us. Right. But anyway, so yeah, so that kind of tripped me out. And I'm wondering for y'all, actually the last thing with that, my cousin's sister is straight. They mama flipped the script on everybody at one point because they were like, this one is a heterosexual. Like they strictly dickly. Now y'all doing too much. This is what my cousin telling me. They were like, yeah, mama had to tell them, like, no, this one's strictly dickly. I know they at the art school too. They're not gonna magically turn gay. Now y'all tripping. I know y'all tripping. You know what I mean? And that's my cousin that passed. Like my cousin, the younger one, they used to wear like suits, dudes clothes to church. Like they were comfortable, even though their mom was like super holy and will cuss you out and defend her fucking kids. You know what I mean? So, but it was nice to kind of fill in those blanks where, they were holding that for a while, and I didn't even know they were being, harmed in that way. And I wish I did know. But anyway, it was good to just kind of connect and fill in those blanks. For y'all and for the audience, my question is, have you ever reconnected with like a older person or younger person in your life, later down the line that was queer or trans that maybe you felt like you couldn't be around for whatever reason, or you felt like there was like some tension, like people tried to low key, because I had some people in my life that I looked up to and I that were like very lesbianic, and as I got older it was like I couldn't really be around them. They weren't around me like that. I'm sure for the similar type of pressures and reasons. So anyway, have y'all had experiences that where you came full circle maybe down the line?
I had two experiences. One with an older queer cousin and then younger people. They're not queer, but they informed me about stuff that people were saying about me when they were younger that I didn't know. So the older one was my cousin Felix. He is in his like middle 60s now. And I think I've talked about him before, but when I was younger, he was the mysterious queer person that people talked about, that made reference to, that I never met. They was like, "Oh, you got a cousin Felix. He was
The
gay too."
mysterious
Yeah,
the
that
mysterious gay cousin.
the mysterious gay cousin that they super
Distant gay cousin.
yes, super gay. The way they described him, I thought that he was gonna be Huddy coming in the door with rainbows and sparkles coming out of his booty hole. All of that duck walking and voguing in. And the way they described him. And so they basically informed me that they like kind of kicked him out of the house because he was gay and he had to move to Chicago and all this kind of stuff. So my either his aunt or his mother, I think his mother, she's like a great aunt. And so to me, and so she passed away, and they lived and they did her services in Chicago. And no, it was his, yeah, it was his aunt. And so anyway, we go to the funeral. So I'm the trans girl. I'm probably like 16, 17, somewhere around there, 16, 17. And so I'm coming to Chicago to go to my Aunt Thelma's funeral. And my cousin, Verma Jean, y'all know we country. You got country name. Verma Jean. Verma Jean comes up to me and says, "Oh,
Verma,
Verma.
Verma,
Verma Jean.
Jean.
Verma Jean." She comes up to me. She's like, "Hey,
Very strong Afro-American name.
period." She said, "Come here, baby. Let me introduce you to your cousin Felix. You will love him." Now this is my first time meeting Verma Jean too. So I want y'all to clock that. But Verma Jean has been warned about the tranny, the boy dressed up as a girl coming to the funeral. And so she was breaking her neck to introduce me. This is her way of making me feel comfortable. So she wants to introduce me to my cousin Felix. But I had already heard about my cousin Felix, so I'm expecting him to be in fishnets, thigh high boots, something gay as hell. Baby, she walked me over to my cousin Felix, and I'm like, "What? This is a regular ass nigga." He looked exactly like my patriarchal uncles. He was in a suit. He was in, now it was a bright ass color suit, but these older niggas. So, they giving Steve Harvey.
K and G all the way through. Yeah.
Yeah, so he had a literal, like a lime, basically the color of your bra top. It's like a lime green suit. These old school niggas, so they
That's some
soulful
Chicago
as hell.
shit. Yeah.
Very Chicago, bright ass suit, Steve Harvey, long, exactly how you think Steve Harvey suits is. He got a bald head. He got, of course, he ain't got no blush or nothing on, but he painted, making the skin clear. So he had a little makeup on, but He looked real regular. Other than the makeup, he was literally dressed exactly like my uncle's. He got the lime green. My other uncle got a fucking bright red ass suit on, and the other one got a Barney purple suit on. Clean as a board house, but very colorful.
They looking like they get ready to do some quintet vocals in the back with the band.
The blind boys of Mississippi quartet type of shit.
Listen, the Williams brothers. Okay.
Yes.
We made it on another day's journey. Yeah.
So he sees me and I come up to him and he was like, "Oh my God, you sickening, Miss Thing." Because I was very concerned.
Hey, come on, cousin.
And we chill and we talk. We didn't really get, because it was a funeral, we really didn't get a chance to kiki and cut up. So a couple of years ago, in my 40s, we reconnected because he moved back to Indianapolis and we were able to get on the phone get on FaceTime on Facebook, and was talking about just his history. And what I learned was that they literally kicked him out because he was queer and he moved to Chicago and was homeless. And he founded the biggest rural pride in the United States, Spencer, Indiana. And he founded the fucking pride there. And he had come into his own. And he was like, he was not as flamboyant as they tried to claim. He just was real regular gay. And yeah, and so I just learned more about him, and it's just one of those experiences where I was like, oh, I can't trust what these motherfuckers say, because boom. So I wanted to tell that. Now let me tell you, me being the older queer. So my young nieces, they're not my nieces. What are they? They're my cousins. But I was raising them with their mother. Like, so they're twins, they're twin girls. And then they have a little brother, two brothers that's older, but the older one, he was too grown. We the same age, but their mama didn't have any more kids till she was older. So she got three younger that was born in 98 and then twins in 2001. So you see the age. So about in that time, I was early 20s, late teens. And so now they're grown. Like, one just graduated from Howard. And so a couple of years ago. And so I get to hang out with them as adult women. And so they get to tell me conversations that was happening back in the day about me. And so one of the conversation was, they were saying that some of my aunts, they're not my aunts, they're like just older women that are cousins. They were telling their mother, the twins and their brothers, their mother, I used to help babysit her because she had a horrible husband who wasn't helping her with the kids. And so when I was out of school, I would come and help her with the kids because she was alone by herself. And when she had her son and was pregnant with the twins, she definitely needed help. And so I'm helping her in her whole process. And, so I'm helping her. And so people would come to her. Now, mind you, I want you to understand, I'm the only one available and willing to help her with these kids. But these motherfuckers would come and advise her and say, "Oh, you don't want that type of stuff around your kids. How you think that's gonna affect them? And what is going on? Like, you don't want blah blah, all this negative stuff. Like, I'm gonna be a negative effect influence on the kids. But are you stepping up and helping her when she needs to get with the kids? You're not.
Let the baby get diaper rash, Diamond, rather than get the diaper changed by the tranny. Like it was so crazy. No fucking sense. Yeah, it's right. It's white people logic. Yeah.
The mother would say, first of all, motherfuckers, she always stood 10 toes down. She was like, I trust Diamond with my kids more than any of you motherfuckers, because I remember when I was young and how shit used to happen with me, and y'all wasn't there to fucking protect me. I trust Diamond with my kids more than any of y'all sons, any of y'all brothers, any of y'all uncles. I trust Diamond more than any of y'all motherfuckers. Y'all can kiss my ass. And that's my niece, and I'm gonna fucking stand beside her. So all her kids now treat me like that as well, where they like, that's my motherfucking cousin, we fuck with her, and that's what it is. And so I get to hear some of the story, even how they revealed my tea, because they didn't just tell my tea automatically, how it was kind of revealed. And how it was told. Now sometimes it was on some negative bullshit, but it just those kind of stories always make I find it to be interesting. So yeah, I have those experiences.
Child, honey, y'all know I got a big ass family. I talk about it all the
Yeah.
time. I got a fagolicious ass family, honey. Up until now, I was the only tranny, though, honey. Yes, pay attention. Up until now, honey, this set was clocked while we were on break, bitch. I had already seen the transition coming, honey. Y'all know that we be clocking the set, honey. Y'all know that we be spooking our little queer family members as they growing up, honey. Even the straight people be clocking the queer family members as we're growing up, honey. You know what I mean?
Period.
So I have so many thoughts and feelings, but um there are now two trans women in my family. Shout out
Welcome, sister. Welcome, sister.
Shout out to my little cousin India. Yes, 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 yes. Shout out, shout out, shout out. I love you, honey. I love you. Yeah, I so with her, seeing her and seeing a lot of my cousins who came out after me as various letters in the LGBTQIA, honey. Seeing them, it makes me feel good because it makes me feel a sense of purpose. You know what I mean? It makes me feel like you were talking about with Major, that our legacy, the how we affect people, and then sometimes we don't even realize it, and in some ways we don't realize it. Um, but yeah, so seeing them come out and live in their full regalia, living in their full queerness, and their parents being so accepting, elders in our families being so accepting. And I think back to times when they wasn't so accepting with your motherfucking girl. And I think back to the times that I had to snatch them together and snatch their wigs together and all that. And honestly, that's where my comfort and security in my transness comes from, because I wasn't snatching wigs alone, honey. My mother and grandmother was snatching them with me. Because again, I wasn't the first one, but before me, a lot of people were very quiet, very demure, very mindful about their queerness before I came around. And it was crazy. And I always thought it was a fool for them to be closeted, because I was never in the closet. I never had to come out. They forced me to come out as trans, and that was just me telling them my damn pronouns and my new name. You know what I mean? But and teaching them how to respect me. But yeah, I think about a few instances. My grandmother, honey, my granny is my best friend, me mama, honey. Everybody knows me mama who's familiar with my platforms, honey. She be spooking the set for me. She done got real old now. She at that age now where she say what the fuck she want and don't be giving a fuck, huh? Where she
Period.
really get talking her shit. Honey, and she talks about I have one uncle. I ain't gonna say his name. I had one uncle who a few of his kids and grandkids that turned out to be queer. Honey, and me mama always brings up, yeah, because I remember when he used to talk shit about you and he used to have things to say about you and da 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 da. And look, honey, his whole lineage, honey, everybody is bumping pocketbooks at the family reunion, ain't they? Honey.
Okay.
And anybody who
That's great.
knows my mother and grandmother, y'all know that I am a watered down version of them. They are worse than me. My personality comes from them. I don't know which genetic was learned at this point, honey. I want to unlearn it all because they're a mess. But yeah, I've had quite a few instances in my family. The trade and I'm the one who everybody comes to. My whole becoming a counselor story is because of my family. I was been everybody's counselor. I'm the one that everybody comes to and tells all their secrets and have the those talks with, and the uncomfortable talks and blah blah blah. So the trade in my family that came out to me, the DL lesbians in my family that came out to me. Funny enough, with my cousin who just transitioned, we were talking, and she was mentioning how she had fear of being around me and being too close with me because um, she was scared that I was going to essentially influence her to be herself. And at that time, she was scared of her own transness. And so that made her keep up a shield and keep up a wall for me. And I'm just glad that that wall is broken now, and I'm glad that she's found herself. And child, we all have a purpose. Remember that, honey. Remember, you are inspiring people that you might not even know in ways that you might not even realize, in ways that they might not even realize. So yeah, yeah. Thank you for bringing this up, Jay.
Yeah, thank my cousins. Like, you know, because it really and what's funny too, because I've also talked about like how, you know, just, you know, I struggled with my mom. We struggled a lot for a minute, especially before I transitioned. And so it's really interesting because at that time, that's when I was starting to be more affirmed in my gender expression. I was with my partner. I had my own business. You know what I'm saying? So all those things were kind of correlated in some of their reactions too. Because before that, I would told you I would come home. I had my makeup bag, my change of clothes, all this bullshit I would put on. This is the time where I stopped the drag. Okay, so that's happening at the same time, and so like y'all said, like you never know the influence you have on, you know, people around you and affirming them, you know, and just your visibility in itself is you know, a possibility model for others to know that they can be okay and be themselves. But yeah, let us know. You know, are you got any younger cousins, older cousins, other people in your life that you reconnected with where it's like, oh, that's what was going on, or you know, what have you? Let us know. Hit us up. Hashtag Marsha's Plate. Bree, can you break it down for the people?
That's hashtag MARSHASPLATE.
So, in recent analysis of U.S. college students and through survey, particularly by the researcher Eric Kaufman, it indicates a significant decline in young people who are identifying as transgender, with some studies showing a halving of the rate since 2023. So, out of 50,000 undergraduate students, they found that 3.6% identified as a gender other than man and woman in 2025, which is a decrease from the 5.2 in 2024 and 6.8 in 2023. And so the right wing are trying to claim this as a victory against the toxic transgender ideology. And so I want to hear you guys' thoughts on this. So, what do y'all think about this decline?
I think it just validates what I had been saying for quite a while now, and other trans people have gotten mad at me, said that I was transphobic, but I've made it very clear that in psychology, this is nothing new. This is to be expected. Trans people, we have never been the majority. So the average person identifying as trans, especially on a binary level, is going to be uncommon. Realistically, it is what it is. There with the trans hype, I'll call it. The Diamond, you talked about this before, the period a period not too long ago where everybody was essentially hopping on the trans bandwagon. Trans had become popularized. Before, we were people who had lived in the shadows because, again, we are a minority of people. You know, that's why we tend to know each other, and we at least tend to be familiar with each other by face, right? Or name. Anyway, I've been telling people before that there are a lot of young people, there are a lot of people of various ages who deal with various identity issues, people who are discovering themselves, and they will latch on to identities that are popularized. During the time that trans people were popularized in the media, there were going to be a lot of people who were going to attach themselves to transness or maybe even find themselves through transness and finding out who they truly were. And again, this is no big deal. We see it with every generation, when the nonviolent protesters became this huge thing in the media, a lot of kids found themselves through hippieism or whatever you want to call it. It's not a surprise. This is nothing to talk about. It was a lot more people were identifying as trans, essentially because they were hopping on the bandwagon like a lot of companies hopped on bandwagons. People did it to make content. People did it to find themselves. People did it for disingenuous purposes. People did it for genuine purposes. Um, there are also people who will fluctuate throughout their life in their gender identity. There are people who may not identify as trans now, who may later identify as trans or non-binary. All of this stuff is really nothing to talk about. It's no smoke here, people. They just trying to light a fire. Um, yeah, it's not a thing.
What's your thoughts, Jay?
I mean, there's definitely like a social culture, like white American thing of like, this is the language we're using right now. Not even necessarily even identity fully, but this is the language we're using right now in popular culture. But I think also because the language is expansive, right? Like we were talking about before, like you mentioned, kind of Brie, like the language is expansive. So I think it created a situation where more people felt comfortable to be like, I fit in this expansion, because a lot of people do, whether or not they identify with that or not. Most people don't fit into the quote binary. You kind of did have a moment where people were saying, well, I think cis women and cis men are in the super duper binary thingy, and everything outside of that is, because for real, you have people thinking like that, right? Everything outside of that is non-binary, which is stupid because that's not true. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't sit up in the women's studies class for all them years about like women are diverse and look different, and I come in all different ways who are cis. For somebody to say, you know what I'm saying? That's problematic because that gets in the way. Or if you want to, you know what I'm saying? Like, that don't even make sense. That don't even make sense. That don't make sense. So I do think there was like algorithm and also the bullshit to kind of make shit seem more convoluted in a popular discourse, or people finding themselves through language, But like, I don't really think it, like Bree said, like, I don't really think that's that deep. Also, like, they are targeting trans people hella. So, like, you know what I'm saying? So, and, it's not as acceptable right now
Point.
in the
People
public
safety.
discourse.
People thinking
So,
about
yeah,
their
so,
safety.
but because there was a popular culture like this, like kind of Americana popular culture moment around being trans. So we're going to talk about being trans in everybody's platforms, popular, media. Da, 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 da. This was the peak of the discourse, particularly for younger people. And, being in a place like Seattle or living in a place like Madison, which is a college town, you see that up close, but that's such a small fraction of people. So this is bullshit. You know what I'm saying? It's like, this is bullshit. I'm sure the majority of that is a visibility thing, but I think you also definitely have this kind of like people who want to be visible, like transactionally for the moment. Um, who may not identify as trans now after they got their money. That's definitely, that we know that happened and happens, but that created an opportunity for that to happen in a bigger way, and so, you saw, particularly for AFAB trans people, do you, but there definitely was like, fuck anybody that is super masculine, fuck in certain spaces, not everywhere, in particular spaces, but the people kind of taking up those spaces were kind of new in their transness and in their community shit. So it was like, that's odd. You know what I'm saying? Like, to just go, hi, fuck everybody but me. Like, that's weird. Like, that definitely did. I want to name that did happen. That is a thing, but it's definitely not the majority of the shit. I think a lot of people just probably were like, I don't know, like it's not safe. I don't know. The fuck? Just like back in the day, it's like it's not safe. You gotta be safe. I don't know. My bad. That's my thoughts. I don't know. Shit.
So I love that y'all brought that up because I think that there's a level, there's a level of, for some people this is not a trend. For myself, I remember people claiming when I was younger that, oh, this is just a phase, this is just da, 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 da. There's some people that this is not a phase, this is our life, this is who we are, this is going to be who we are till we die. And then there's some people who are, and they are allowed to explore who they are. They are exploring who they are and figuring it out. And sometimes this concept is like, maybe that's me. And then they gotta test it out and figure it out and turn around and do a U-turn and say, nah, maybe I'm more over here. And there's trends of all kinds of things. I remember, and I know this ain't got nothing to do with transness, but just when it comes to kind of culturally trendy things. I remember when Michael Jordan was at his peak, every motherfucking body wanted to be like Mike. It was a slogan. Everybody thought that they were a basketball player.
Yeah,
Everybody thought.
I wanna be like mine.
Exactly. It was a whole song. It was a slogan. Everybody was running around, going to the basketball court, no matter how much they sucked or how much they really wanted to fucking be into anime. But they were fucking trying to play sports and trying to be like fucking Mike. And then they grew the fuck up and learned that, oh, I actually suck at basketball and this ain't really me. But were there some people who were inspired to be Mike and got in the game and started being great? Absolutely. And realized I am a fucking ball player. I'm not trying to I'm just giving you an analogy. I'm not saying that that transness is equal to that. I'm just giving you an analogy of how things. There's other trends that was happening during that time. The gangster thug sagging the pants trend of how you maneuver as a man. This kind of this kind of hood toxic masculinity way of being a man that was really popular that people hopped on. That just kind of like, that's how I kind of think about it too, that there is like this, that when it comes to that kind of trend. So, but anyway, how I interpret this decline is in regards to the trans identity. In reality, just like y'all touched on, I think it's just a shift in the landscape of fucking safety and self-expression. Listen, when lawmakers target trans youth, when fucking school boards are censoring fucking pronouns, when media outlet are amplifying hate under the guise of debate, like that fucking Charlie Kirk, or they're fucking signing executive orders to make us seem like we fucking terrorists. It is no wonder that young people feel less safe to be visible about their genderqueer identity or their trans identity. That's just what it is. People ain't gonna feel safe enough to claim it. And in this past 10 years, 10, 15 years, we've had a renaissance where people was like, oh, I can say this out loud. And people were down for it. Allies were throwing their fucking fist up like, yeah, protect the dolls, protect the girls. And yes, da-da-da-da-da. Now allies is turning their fucking back on us, disinvesting. So of course, this erasure of us is going to happen. People are going to go back into the shadows. People are going to be quiet about it. That's just what it is. It's just going to be quiet. And no survey saying that there's fewer trans people is not the reality. Y'all didn't even, some of y'all didn't even know we existed. And as you can see by the people on this fucking panel, we've been here. And y'all didn't even know we was fucking real. Y'all just now talking about, oh, this trans trend. Bitch, we been trans. We just talked about Miss Major, who was in fucking the 60s. Trans. We've been out here. Y'all just coming up on us. But we've been out here and it's not a fucking trend. We just have the spotlight right now. And you are demonizing trans people and immigrants and many other marginalized groups. And so sometimes, because y'all fucking criminalizing us, fucking locking us up and trying to take away our fucking rights, we gotta fucking go back to what we know. Stealth. Go back to what we know. Closet. Go back to what we know. Safety. And so that's what happens. That's what happens. But what I want you to know is transness isn't just about our struggle, it's also about our joy. So what I also see is us hunkering down and being a part of community. I see us still fucking with each other and still being a safe haven like we were before, still being a safe haven for each other, still letting us know that you got community out here. And so, even though it's a difficult political time right now, it is still trans people out here being creative in music, in fashion, in online spaces, in mutual aid networks. Trans joy is not vanishing, it's just evolving. It's becoming more intentional, it's becoming more rooted and more communal. It's less about public validation and these people playing trans and more about collective care and resilience and quiet authenticity. I'm not just putting on a show. I'm not just putting on a wig. I'm not just saying I'm non-binary just cuz I want to be a part of the trend. No, I'm actually out here doing me and doing my thing because this is authentic to me. And so we lived through this trans renaissance that was happening within the past 10 years with the new shows, the new representation, with the new awards, new carpets, new red carpets, a new frontier of celebrities and celebration across Hollywood and even other sectors, nonprofit, all these things. We survived. We survived the dark times, and we have this spotlight now. We have this big thing happening. But just like then, we know how to carry through. And so I want y'all to know that these people spotlighting a decline doesn't mean that we're gone, baby. It's just that we are being quiet, reassessing, we're assessing and re-strategizing and making it work for ourselves in our community because that's what the fuck we know to do based on our ancestors and based on our own personal innovation of how we know we need to move forward.
Because it was a moment that happened up and really it was driven by money. And I think it's something that we can all look back on once we get through this hump and these people decide they want to throw money because it's good for them to make money talking about us, that we're going to have to move more strategically moving forward. And most of the organizations and agencies that were getting money, a lot of them were just started grassroots before they got the money. So we know, to Diamond's point, like what to do. We already know, you know what I'm saying? We're the foundation of a lot of stuff that turned into this nonprofit industrial complex because Obama said, I'll pay your student loans if you work for the government or you work for a nonprofit. And all of a sudden you saw an explosion of nonprofit jobs that require degrees. And now you have people that have to pay back their student loans because guess what? Donald Trump said, oh, that gay organization you work for does not qualify, meet the standards for that loan repayment. That walk right up into the trap. We talked about it on the fucking show. Years ago. We got to be more strategic. So this was not like it was real, but some of it was mirage. And so we can't take it as seriously, you know, sometimes as like it is, because some of it was bullshit. Like, period. Some of it was people cheapening the work.
Performing.
To say they supporting trans people, to say they supporting marginalized communities and not investing in long-term leadership development, investing in long-term institutions and not just one-offs. So we got, I think for us as a community, especially Black trans folks, we can learn from this moment. And when they try to do that bullshit later, we can be more strategic to make sure that we are getting the money that's due or whatever, or figuring that shit out differently and strategically, because we already know what to do. But they not gonna play like that. We got, you know what I'm saying? We not doing this shit next time. Ain't gonna be no next time with that bullshit. Because we deserve more support right now, and like you swear that. Because it's not profitable for them right now. So we gotta keep that in mind as we move forward too, with some of that shit.
So, in closing, if you are trans and non-binary, I want you to know this. Your existence is not up for debate. You are not some bullshit ass data point. You are that to be measured or minimized. You are a fucking human being. You are a part of a lineage of people who have always known how to survive. You and how to transform pain into pride, how to dream of better futures. Yes, is there power in visibility? Absolutely. But it's also power in simply existing in safety and authenticity in whatever way that you can. I know, I'm somebody that kind of put the fire under the flame of stealth people who are a little too stealth for my taste, where I'm like, bitch, you need to be out here fighting too. But I understand. I've never demonized them in that in a way where I don't understand. Pride doesn't always look like a parade, y'all. Sometimes it looks like choosing to keep living, loving, and imagining something different. And when it comes to us and our joy, it doesn't decline. It shifts, it adapts, it continues just like we do. And these headlines are trying to claim that our numbers are declining. Know that that is not true. We defined ourselves by love, solidarity, and simply being stubborn on the act of being real and the act of loving ourselves enough to create our world. We are an example of how we can buck up against a long age system. Motherfuckers smacked us on our ass and said, "You are this, and this is how you supposed to be. You are supposed to do this, one, two, three, four. This list of bullshit." And we said, "No, fuck that. We're not only gonna create our own world." In our physical realm, we also going to create our own world in our community, and we are still fucking here. Ain't that what Miss Major said? We are still fucking here. We are still fucking here, and we are still becoming, and we
Period.
are still building a future, one act of courage at a time. And sometimes that courage is just getting up and not saying nothing, just living your life. And can't no statistic measure that power. And so, yes, let us know what y'all think. Yeah, Marsha's plate.
Hashtag MARSHASPLATE.
Right. Just like that.
Diamond, Jay, everybody listening, I was just on IG Friday sending out a message to the sister Tish Hyman. For all who don't know Tish Hyman, she is a Black queer singer who has a following out there in LA. She actually has a song that it has been catching traction on and off online. Um, I was sent a video of Tish going, "Oh, yes, honey." Tish said that she's going to yell "man" whenever she sees a man in the women's restroom. Well, even though the good sis Tish is androgynous as all outdoors, honey, I guess she didn't heed my warning because y'all, I went online today. The good sis Tish kept her word. She said if she sees a man in the women's restroom, she's going to yell "man." Not only did she yell "man," but Tish came out and yelled, "It's a grown man with a big dick in the women's restroom." I don't know if this person was on display. I don't know if this person was erect. I'm trying to find out how Tish knew that the dick was big. Clearly, yes, we see it's so many thoughts and so many questions. This person doesn't appear to be presenting femme. This person appears to be somebody who is presenting. I mean, they not in the video. Check the video. You can rewind it back yourself, honey. In the video, the person don't deny identifying as a man that Tish is going off for, and Tish is going off about. I just want to know, how did trans women get in there? I just want to know the video that Trish made, that Tish, I'm sorry, honey, the video that Tish initially made, honey, it was focused and it was all about trans women. Child, what do y'all think? Because I don't know how to feel.
Listen. I think that what I love about these scenarios is it bucks up against the idea that we can assume anybody's agenda. We just cannot. It is what it is. There are going to be some women who identify as women who naturally and unnaturally look a little bit more masculine, whether it be how they dress, whether it be their physicality, where, honey, their titties are small and they ain't got no hips and their shoulders are broad, or they got some facial hair. Who knows? It could be natural things happening, PCOS. So it could be so many things happening where how you visually perceive them could make you read them as a man. But they identify and want to be a woman. And so, and the opposite can be true. A person who identifies as a man looks like a girl because of how they dress or their physicality or their queer and their gender expression. It's so many things. We are in a place where we have so many people that look different, and you are not going to be able to tell what's going on. And so,
yeah, I mean, there's that. I'm assuming there are days where maybe if this person usually goes to this gym, they just were like, I don't have time to like beat my face and do all this other shit. I'm just trying to go to the gym because I can go here and I know it's safe as a trans person.
That's very true. I didn't even
So,
think
like,
about
if
that.
y'all already established that this is safe and they're in like California or some shit, like I can
they're in
come out as a trans,
California.
right? That like I don't have to go through these changes. Living in Seattle, trans women didn't have to be as pressed in the same kind of way. Because there's more protections and all that other bullshit. So like there's more opportunities and all that kind of shit. So like you could come to work and not shave. And it not be like, I'm not saying that for everybody and all the jobs, but what I'm saying is there was more room for people to just be and not have to like try to keep up. Not because you trying to look at glam, because of safety. Right? So like if you broke and you just didn't make it to the store to get your nair or whatever whatever you're using and shit. Hey, it's laundry day, whatever. It could be any fucking thing. You know what I'm saying? Or not. Or not. To your point, Diamond, it's like if we are respecting people's shit, we respecting people's shit. I will say I don't think that would go down if that person was not looking Caucasian. I think that also was a fact. I think race was a factor in their reaction. I think the gender is racialized, is what I'm saying. And race is gendered. And so I think that was a factor in that moment in them making those assumptions, which are theirs to make. But it's fucked up to be trying to stop somebody from fucking just going to the bathroom and do what they got to do at the damn gym. When you could just mind your fucking business and let them go do what they got to do at the gym. Like, that's why places like California and Washington State, that shit's illegal. Like, you can't be like, stop the world. No. If it's that deep for you, then just wait 5 minutes. Like, if it's that deep versus none of the trans women can go to the, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, you can't. Literally, I think the law says some shit like to the effect of like, like you can't, if you feel some kind of way, like you have to figure that out yourself. Basically, you can't make somebody else. I can think of a bajillion reasons and scenarios, particularly with this person looking as butch as they do. I'm sure people misgender them all the fucking time. So like if they wearing a hoodie or something, you know what I'm saying? Not all the time, but I can see how they could be misgendered is all I'm saying. As somebody was dark-skinned black woman who wasn't super butch, wasn't super studly. I wasn't rocking it, moving that way. I'm just saying, I'm sure there's some defensiveness because of that as well. You get what I'm saying? I'm sure that's a factor in this, right? But I don't know if they would have. Anyway, the point is that was fucked up. To me, that's fucked up. That's the bottom line. It was fucked up. I didn't see all of the first video of your of your. Maybe I didn't see all. I was listening to the second video and like watching it. Did the person just going in the gym, right? Did they do something weird or something? Did I miss something? It's just minding their business, and now they all over the fucking internet. That's fucked up. Period. That's all I'm saying. Like, period. That's fucked up. Period. Period. I would hate to be the person that is the trans person just minding their fucking business because somebody wanted to be like, why the fuck is the man going to the bathroom?
The problem is they're not identifying as a trans person. Like if they
were gonna tell me that part, I missed that part.
That's the thing about it. In that video, that just looked like a regular white man. Now, mind you, we just talked about how you can't really tell, but they are also not verbalizing, I'm trans. I'm in here just trying to work out. I needed them. When these moments happen, I need you to do that so we can know what's going on. That's how I'm gonna stand on your side. But if you just sitting there and you looking like a white man and you're not identifying as trans, I can't say that I won't be in that situation too. You
can I ask? Can I ask?
white man in the fucking wait. You in the bathroom with me and you not supposed to be here, and you ain't looking queer. You looking like a regular creep that could be here. I'm gonna respond. Now, if you say, hey, I'm trans, I'm just here, I'm with my bags and and you're not doing no creepy ass shit, then I'm gonna leave you the fuck alone. I'm like, what? You know you in the wrong bathroom, right? And then when you say, oh, I'm trans, and I'm gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna leave you the fuck alone.
I disagree. Take your ass up to the person that works at fucking Gold's Gym and be like, hey, what the fuck up? Because that person, if they know who that person is, will be like, oh yeah, they're trans. That's what the fuck you do.
So
don't come at people. I just, in my opinion,
to give context.
Yeah, like if it's in a structured situation like that, just go. I'm
gonna give context based on my research. Just so that y'all have full context. Based on my research and being on Tish's page, this person Tish has been interacting with consistently for a while. I don't know if they coincidentally have the same gym schedule. I don't know if they both spend a lot of time in the gym and just happen to run into each other a lot. But apparently this has become fodder for this particular Gold's Gym. There have been conversations before, and apparently this person has never defended themselves by saying that they were trans or admitted to being trans. Just for context.
Yeah, but I'm saying they don't have to. Like they don't have to. What I'm saying is, especially just living in Washington State, no, they don't fucking have to do that. You need to go talk to the people at the standard's different. Take your ass over to the people at Gold's Gym. If you have a problem and you think you're worried about your fucking safety, you talk to the people that work at Gold's Gym and let them handle that shit. And then if you need to sue Gold's Gym, you sue Gold's Gym. But what you don't do is single out an individual because you don't know their fucking business. And maybe that's the only way they could come there. You don't know where the fuck they're coming from. And if they're changing into other shit, clearly they changing into other shit. If they didn't, like, it's none of your business is the point. So if you got a problem with somebody and you're concerned about your safety at the fucking gym, the first step to me is to go to the people that work at the fucking gym and go there. Don't roll up on a fucking individual who you don't fucking know, because that's fucked up. You don't know people shit. Like, that's fucked up to me.
So for
especially if you live somewhere where you have very clear protections around how trans people can move around your gender expression identity. You know what I'm saying? Because if you say the space is inclusive or whatever the fuck Gold's Gym, whatever the fuck they got going on at Gold's Gym.
No, they agree. Gold's Gym agrees. Gold's Gym agrees. And Tish has been kicked out of Gold's Gym. I don't know if it's permanent or temporary, but at least for now, Tish is not allowed at Gold's Gym until further notice.
You can't attack people. You need to go to the people that work at the business. If you're at a fucking business, in my opinion.
So no. I think that's a great opinion. I think that is a safe opinion. I think that is a safe strategy. I think that yes. I have been in situations where I was in a bathroom and a dude walked in, and just because it's the moment, I wasn't rude to him. I'm not trying to attack him. I'm not going out, oh my God, it's a man, But I have been in a situation where a dude accidentally came into a women's restroom, and I was in there, and I was like, "Oh, I think you're in the wrong bathroom," and he said, "Oh shit, my bad," and went to the males. I, if I would have in that moment said, "Oh my God," and went to the fucking office of the people and made it a big deal, I felt like that would have been doing too fucking much. I felt like it
For
would have been doing too
sure.
much. I just said, "Hey, I think you're in the wrong bathroom." If his response would have been, "Oh, I'm trans," I was like, "Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. I apologize." That's how my response would have been. But in the moment, I would have, because you're somebody that I'm interpreting as a man coming in the bathroom, and this is not an inclusive space. I think you're right. If I was in a space that I know was inclusive, I would have responded differently. I would have said nothing. I just went about my business. But if this is a space that I feel like it's not that, I think it's okay for me to say, "Hey, are you in the right bathroom?" And then if you tell me, because I don't give a fuck about politics. If I feel unsafe, I feel unsafe. And I don't care about what the rules are. If I feel unsafe, I'm going to say something. And so if you
Yeah,
think
I mean,
this
yeah.
big burly man coming in the restroom and you're not supposed to be in here, I am going to say something. Now, if you, like I said, if you respond with, "Oh, I'm trans," I know I don't, well, however you respond and you tell me you trans, it's going to trigger something in my brain to treat you differently. Because now I don't think of you as a safety issue. I think of you, "Oh, you trans, so I'm gonna mind my business. Oh, my bad, I'm sorry," and go wash my hands or do whatever I need to do. Because I'm paying attention. I'm seeing that you got your duffel bag. You get what I'm saying? But if it's just you coming around the corner in the wrong space, I might say something. That's just what it is. But I'm
I
not gonna
mean,
be
yeah.
rude to you. But I
Right.
might say something.
I mean,
Yeah,
I've
no.
definitely been in a situation where they were like, "This is all inclusive situation with the bathroom," and I look the way I do, and it was like, a person that is AFAB and cis is like, "Hey," I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm genderqueer." "Oh, okay, baby, that's cool." Cool.
Nothing.
To your point,
Yeah,
um,
no.
I mean,
I think
context does matter, but like, I do, yeah, context matters. I think in a situation, if you're at a fucking gym or some kind of membership situation, I don't think you should roll up on fucking people, because that, to me, in that kind of scenario, like, you're not in the regular ass bathroom. You're talking about the fucking locker room. You can take your ass out there. You got multiple ways to get out that shit, and go up to the Gold's Gym people and say, "Hey, just check in. I want to be up. I don't want to make this person feel fucking awkward." They might not say shit to you if you start on 10. I
But
might not say shit to you if you start on 10. Did Tish
yeah.
start on like 1?
Yeah, no, I think
Yeah.
there's so many points y'all are making. I think that this is something that we'll be able to continue conceptualizing and contextualizing and continuing to process as we as our culture becomes more and more non-binary, because whether the cishet people want to realize it or not, our culture is becoming more and more non-binary even before trans people were a thing in the media. Women wearing pants was our culture becoming more non-binary. Women in the workplace was our culture becoming more non-binary. Just people thinking outside of these boxes of what man or woman could be or had to be socially to be safe. So I think it's a lot to process here. Ultimately, me personally, I agree with both of y'all. At the end of the day, whether I think somebody is male, female, somewhere in between, I mind my business in the restroom whenever people tell me or ask me, "Well, Bree, how do I navigate this? How am I supposed to navigate trans people in the bathroom? Or how am I supposed to navigate somebody who looks like a man in a woman's bathroom?" Mind your business unless you see somebody being harmed. Ultimately, that's what it is for me. Again, instinctually, because I've grown up in a society that is still very binary. I grew up in a society where I am going to double take. I may ask, "Do you realize, which bathroom you're in, depending on how a person presents?" But again, also I am trans, and I'm aware that trans men exist, and some of them use women's restrooms. I'm aware that there are trans women who are non-medical and who are non-op. And depending on which day you catch them, honey, you might catch somebody who looks quote unquote man based on our society's perceptions, right? But ultimately, at the end of the day, I'm going to repeat what I think we've all said. Mind your business as long as nobody's being harmed, honey. And if you're really uncomfortable with being in inclusive bathrooms, then maybe that just ain't the place and ain't the territory for you. You know what I mean? We are. It's no shade. We are not obligated to patronize anybody's establishments. You know. But yeah, thank y'all for entertaining this conversation. Thank y'all for helping me to articulate all of the things that I was thinking. And thank y'all for sharing y'all thoughts. And everybody listening, I want to hear what y'all think. Where are y'all at with this whole bathroom situation? How do y'all feel about Tish? Do y'all think she went too far? Do y'all think it's the right message, wrong messenger? Because you know she's very cinder blockish. Let me know. Let us know, honey. And make sure you hashtag Marsha's Plate. That's hashtag MARSHASPLATE.
Period.
Gimme euphoria, more than peace of mind. It's the joy and space to change the tide. Gimme euphoria, more than peace of mind. It's the joy and space to change the tide. Gimme you a feeling and a high you never come down from. Whoa.
What is bringing y'all euphoria this week?
I can go first, honey. It's
Okay.
it's a lot of euphoria. It's bursting out of me, Jay. I'm sorry. It's bursting out of me. Oh my goodness. As y'all see, the background is different. I have moved, honey. I have moved. We have made it into the house, honey, to fill y'all in on some tea, bitch. Honey, my partner's white on his white side of his family. My partner's white bitch of an aunt came and cleaned the motherfucking house out. I didn't tell y'all about that before, did I? I didn't give y'all that tea before break because, yeah, I don't think it happened before we went on break. This bitch cleaned out the house before I could come and sit my black ass on anything. She cleared out everything that she thought belonged to her mother and or her deceased brother. Baby, honey, it's shit, honey. If you want to see the video footage, you can check it out on any of my platforms, honey. It is she sat shit outside and donated it with free tags on it and shit, honey. Yes, honey.
Just to be spiteful?
Why else? I don't understand why else she would have done it. It makes no rational sense to me. But honey, she had the puss confused for somebody who ain't resourceful. Honey, when I tell you I got a house full of motherfucking furniture, honey, it is a finished basement, honey. It is two other floors and there's an attic. And at this point, the only thing we missing is a dining room set, honey. And that means the table and the chairs. We have everything else. Honey, it's getting to the point where we getting ready to start donating shit in here because my neighborhood, my village, my community, Black women and Black men came together and made sure that we have furniture for this house. And I'm just enjoying it day by day. I am moving things around and it might sound like a story with a headache, but no, I see everything as a blessing. And this was an opportunity for us to really start from the ground up and all the things that he really wanted from his grand and his uncle, he got and he stored and he hid away before she had the opportunity. I tried to pursue theft charges, but it don't really matter. The universe works in the way that it always will for the blessed and anointed, honey. And again, we have a house full of shit. I will continue, showing y'all everybody who follows me, and I will continue giving y'all updates. And my last piece of euphoria for this particular day, honey, I finally made 20K on IG. Yes, baby. So shout out to all of y'all who listen to Marsha's Plate. I know a lot of y'all have found me through this platform. Thank y'all for supporting Marsha's Plate. And thank y'all for supporting me as a solo entity and a solo voice as well. I appreciate the family that we are building and has been built even before I came here. So yeah, what's bringing you euphoria, Jay?
Okay, what's bringing me? That's awesome. Congratulations though for like figuring that shit out. Um, I came back to. I left White Land. Um, I appreciate all the love I got out on the West Coast. Glad to be be back in around family and food and was bringing me euphoria is being back in spaces where it's like it's a lot of black people. That's bringing me euphoria. You know what I'm saying? Like like little $13 plates is bringing me euphoria. You know, good food. I did some karaoke at the karaoke spot. Came in, somebody singing Make It Last Forever as a duet. Somebody sang Sparkle by Cameo. Somebody sang Lose Control by Silk. Somebody sang shit. I sang fucking My Last $2 by Johnny Taylor. Because it was like real grown. Miss Noda was the bartender, had us together. You know what I'm saying? So I'm really grateful. And a lot of that came together because of community. You know what I mean? Really kind of stepping in. I had some things that changed in some of my logistics and kind of similar to you, Brie, like folks really stepped up and made that possible. My friend was like, let's go to karaoke. And I was like, okay. You know what I'm saying? And, as the other thing that's euphoric tied to this is even though Seattle was very difficult, one thing it did was force me to have to like really kind of face to face with my internalized transphobia because they were like, we don't fuck with you, nigga, at all. It was like, picking apart my gender expression and everything. It brought up a lot of shit because I went through a lot of shit back in the day trying to just get comfortable with my shit, with my mom, kind of like blah 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 blah. So to have people within the trans community do that to me, it was like, oh. You gotta come face, and then confused why I'm like, that's fucked up. They're like, what do you mean? It just, sometimes you got to get shit. You try to deal with shit on your terms slowly, and the universe is like, nope, I'm gonna throw it in your face. You need to deal with that and move the fuck on. And so I'm grateful, at least for, in terms of just like through some of the negative shit, that it really kind of helped me understand, like I got some more internalized transphobia that I need to navigate through, and that I have been able to navigate through. Still got more to do, but feel more secure around my masculinity. So it was really affirming to come back and be back in Milwaukee. And black people like, hey, what's up, younger looking uncle? You know what I'm saying? What's up, aunt? You know what I'm saying? And just getting some love. I do feel some kind of with my beard, even though I look cute. But like it just was good. You know what I'm saying? And everybody know the EBT shit's going on, so much shit, but it's just love. It was just like, how you doing? Stay safe, blah, 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 blah. Being out there, people don't really talk to each other or acknowledge each other in public the way we do in our community and also just in the Midwest. So it's bringing me euphoria, just like family and the love and the food and the music. And, instead it's like, oh, don't sing that random black song at karaoke and see, you know what I mean? Like just to be able to just be, that's bringing me euphoria and connecting with, family, food, black queer folks, black trans folks, white queer folks, white trans folks, folks just holding it down. Black trans sister made me some gumbo. You know what I'm saying? It was like, come get this gumbo. I'm making salmon croquettes next week. Shout out to Londa, long-time listener of the show, long-time personal friend. So just grateful. So like a lot of gratitude. I'm sending gratitude. And that's bringing me euphoria this week. What about you, Diamond?
Mine is serious. Y'all. Mine is simple. Y'all seem serious.
No, we're saying community.
Yes, yeah, anybody who knows me know I love horror. Horror is one of my favorite genres of content in regards to like movies and series. So, baby, welcome to motherfucking Dairy, which is a prequel to like It. Like they're telling you how it like kind of started that early thing of It. It's a series on HBO called Welcome to Dairy.
Wait. It's from It, the clown?
Yes, It. So
Oh Lord.
it's a new series based on the prequel. They're giving you the backstory of It. And so I fucking love it. It's giving old school horror where they're doing imaginative things to be scary. Gore and just It's freaky. They got babies with wings and demon babies with wings. They having people give birth to demons. It's just all kinds of wild ass shit going.
And that's just in the first 15 minutes of
And
the
that's
first
just in the
episode,
first
bitch.
Listen, y'all have fun with that shit. I do horror, gore, all that.
That is my type of shit. I love to see people do creative ways of nightmares and scary and blah 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 blah. I love it. And so this is like that old school. It's just not kind of new school is kind of is more like suspense. This is like, honey, we see some eyes popping out. We see some you just imagine like this, let me give you an example. Her daddy was in a fucking pickle jar. And his face was turning in the pickle jar because the whole grocery store was coming enclosing her, and she was imagining it, and then people were like, "Why is this bitch going crazy?" Anyway, I fucking loved it, and it brought me euphoria because I love the franchise. My two favorite authors is Toni Morrison and Stephen King. I know that's kind of random, but those are my two favorite authors of all time, Stephen King and Toni Morrison. And so it is one of my favorite franchises from when I was a kid, from the book, from the old school movie with Tim Curry to even the new one with the Saugard brother, Bill Saugard, however you say his name. And so yes, I love. Yes.
Listen, it as a kid traumatized me. That fucking clown. That shit came on the superstation. You know what I'm saying? That scared the shit out of me.
So this particular week, because it's Halloween, they released the second episode earlier than it's supposed to, just so you can watch the new season, so the new episode. So yes, if you like horror, go ahead and watch Welcome to Derry on HBO because it is thebomb.com. So yes, that dated me. Who says that? But yes, it was thebomb.com, honey. So yes, anyway, let us know what's bringing y'all euphoria this week. Audience, hashtag Marsha's Play. We would love to hear what's bringing y'all joy because, like I said, trans joy is not declining, even if it's quiet, honey. Just like the classes, rich white folks is doing quiet luxury. We might be doing quiet trans joy. Fuck them motherfuckers.
We black. We black. We black. We black. We're gonna do what our black asses do.
Exactly. So let us know. Hashtag Marsha's Play, and we will see y'all next week.
Yes, love y'all.
Hasta luego.
Well, that's it. Thank you for coming and getting a taste of Marsha's Plate. You can listen to us on iTunes and SoundCloud. Make sure you leave a review because we really need those 5 stars, y'all.
And go like our Facebook page and leave some comments. We'll be posting exclusive content every Thursday, so you definitely don't want to miss out.
You can also follow us on Twitter and any other social media site at Marsha's Plate. If you'd like to donate or advertise with us, hit us up at diamondstylz@gmail.com. That's Diamond STYLZ@gmail.com.
And that's it for us, y'all. Bye.
Bye.
You gonna say bye, Mia?
Oh, bye, y'all.
Every little thing's gonna be alright.